Far away in the dark space on a small blue world called Zarneth, something terrible was happening. The Zarnethi people, who lived in deep oceans and breathed water like fish, were in great danger. Strange machines had come from the stars, hunting them like wild animals. These machines were not alive, but they moved and attacked like monsters. The Zarnethi had never seen anything like them before. Their cities, built beneath the waves, were crumbling. Families hid in caves and tunnels, hoping to stay safe. The leaders of Zarneth were scared. They had no idea how to stop these monsters. Desperate, they sent out a distress call into the vast emptiness of space. The signal was clear. "Help us. We are under attack." It traveled across thousands of stars, hoping to reach someone who could save them. Many distant worlds heard the call. Some were too far to answer quickly. Others were afraid to get involved. The galaxy was big and not everyone cared about the Zarnethi, but one place did listen. The signal reached Earth, a small blue planet in the Sol system. Earth was called a death world by many. It was harsh and dangerous, full of wild animals, storms, and deadly places. People from Earth were known as survivors. They could live in places no one else could. When the distress call arrived at Earth Space Command, Commander Marin Locke was the first to hear it. She sat quietly in the control room, eyes fixed on the screen. The message repeated over and over, "Help us, we are under attack." Marin's brow furrowed. She had seen many dangers on Earth, earthquakes, wild beasts, even hostile aliens before. But a call like this? From a species so different from humans? That was rare. She stood up and spoke to the room full of officers. "We can't ignore this. The Zarnethi are in trouble. And if we don't help, who will?" Some officers nodded. Others looked worried. Helping a strange alien race was risky, but Marin knew Earth's strength. They were not the richest or most powerful, but they were fearless. "Prepare the HEC Resolute," she ordered. The Resolute was a fast, heavily armed ship designed for dangerous missions. "We leave in 1 hour." In the time it took to prepare, Marin thought about what the Zarnethi must be feeling. Alone in the dark ocean, hunted by unknown machines. It was a nightmare no one should live. She remembered her own world. Earth was not easy to live on either. The deserts burned, the forests hid predators, and the cities sometimes turned violent. But humans had learned to survive, to fight back. The Zarnethi had called for help. Marin and her team were going to answer. Meanwhile, across the galaxy on Zarneth, the Zarnethi Council gathered in their great underwater hall. The walls shimmered with glowing coral and the water was clear but cold. The leader, Elder Threx, listened as the distress call repeated on their ancient speakers. "Do you really believe the Deathworlders will come?" he asked his advisors. "They are strong and strange," answered one, "but they live on a world full of dangers. If anyone can fight monsters, it is them." Elder Threx sighed. "I hope you are right. We have waited too long for help." Back on Earth, the HEC Resolute moved through space like a silver arrow. Inside, Marin and her team checked their gear. They were a tough group, soldiers and scientists trained for the worst. Jax, the weapons expert, grinned as he loaded his rifle. "Deathworlders don't run from trouble." Marin smiled. "No, we don't. Let's show them what Earth can do," the Raal ship's AI announced. "Approaching Zarneth system. Prepare for drop." The team tightened their helmets and strapped into their seats. Outside the windows, the blue-green planet grew larger. As the Resolute entered orbit, the Zarnethi watchers on the surface saw the strange ship for the first time. It was unlike any Federation vessel they had seen, smaller but heavily armored. "With glowing engines, are they coming to fight or to save us?" a young Zarnethi whispered. "We will see soon," Elder Threx said. The HEC Resolute dropped its landing pods through the water. The humans were not afraid of the deep ocean or the strange creatures lurking in it. Their suits were strong, and their training was better than anything the Zarnethi had seen. When the pods hit the water near the city's edge, Marin led the team out. The water was cold and heavy, but they moved quickly. Suddenly, a monstrous predator surfaced, its metal teeth flashing. The Zarnethi ran in panic. But Marin raised her rifle and fired. The shots hit the machine with deadly accuracy. The predator fell silent. The humans moved forward, steady and fearless. The Zarnethi gasped. These humans were different. They did not scream or run. They fought back with skill and courage. Marin looked at the terrified aliens and nodded. We're here to help. Stay close. The fight was only beginning. But for the first time, the Zarnethi felt hope. The HEC Resolute hovered silently above the deep blue oceans of Zarneth. Its engines glowed softly as 7 small pods detached from the ship's belly and shot toward the water. Inside each pod, a team of humans prepared themselves for the mission. They were the best of Earth's Deathworlders, soldiers trained to survive in the harshest places. Commander Marin Locke sat in the lead pod. Her sharp eyes scanned the screen in front of her, showing the ocean floor and the city below. The water was murky and cold, and strange shapes moved in the shadows. "Ready, team?" she asked over the comms. One by one, her squad responded. Jax, the weapons expert, smiled behind his helmet. "Born ready." Sarah, the medic, checked her gear. "Let's save some lives." Leo, the engineer, adjusted his suit. "I'll keep the tech running." The other 3, Tara, a scout, Nico, a heavy weapons specialist, and Dax, a tech hacker, were equally prepared. Good. Pods deploying in 3, 2, 1. The pods plunged through the water like bullets. Inside, the team felt the pressure and cold, but their suits kept them safe. They were silent for a moment. Then the pods opened near the edge of the flooded city. The humans stepped out into the alien water. The city was like nothing they had seen. Buildings made of coral and glass, glowing softly in the dark. But danger lurked everywhere. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed through the water. A giant biomechanical predator burst from the shadows, its metal claws snapping. "Contact! Target at 10 o'clock!" shouted Jax. The team moved quickly. Marin raised her rifle and fired precise bursts. The predator hissed and charged. Leo threw a stun grenade that exploded near the beast's legs, slowing it down. Sarah quickly tended to a wounded Zarnethi nearby, who had been caught in the attack. The predator thrashed, then collapsed. The humans were calm but alert. "We can do this," Marin said. "Keep moving." The team advanced deeper into the city. The Zarnethi people watched from behind coral walls, whispering in fear and wonder. They had never seen such brave warriors before. A small Zarnethi hatchling floated near Marin's legs, trembling. "Easy," she said softly. She picked up the hatchling, cradling it gently. "We're here to help." The hatchling blinked at her, and the other aliens began to follow the humans more closely. But the danger was far from over. As the team reached the city's center, they found signs of the biomechanical invaders everywhere. Machines tore through coral towers. Some Zarnethi had been captured and were missing. Marin gathered her team for a quick briefing. "We need to find the source of these attacks," she said. "This is no random attack. Someone is controlling these creatures." Nico tapped his wrist device. "I'm picking up strange signals deep below the city. Something is hidden in the old vaults." "Vaults?" asked Tara. "Ancient places built long ago," Leo explained. "They hold old technology, maybe weapons." Marin nodded. "Then that's where we're going. Stay alert." The team made their way to the vault entrances. The water grew colder, darker. Strange noises echoed from the tunnels. Suddenly, the floor shook. A group of smaller predators appeared, faster and more aggressive than before. The humans fought fiercely. Jax fired his rifle. Nico used his heavy cannon, and Tara moved quickly, striking with a sharp knife when the creatures got close. Despite the danger, the humans showed no fear. They moved like shadows in the dark water, working as one. After the fight, they reached the vault door. It was covered in strange symbols glowing faintly. Leo approached carefully. "I'll try to open it." He pulled out his tools and began working on the lock. The door hissed and slid open, revealing a tunnel leading deep underground. Inside the vault, the air was thick and dry, unusual for Zarneth's ocean world. The humans switched to their air tanks. The tunnel walls were lined with ancient technology, old machines covered in rust and coral. As they moved deeper, Nico hacked into a control panel. This tech is old but still powerful. Suddenly, a warning flashed on his screen. Warning, unauthorized access detected. Lights flickered and mechanical drones appeared from hidden compartments. Ambush! Shouted Marin. The team quickly spread out, firing at the drones. The machines were tough, but the humans had the advantage of experience and skill. After a fierce battle, the drones were destroyed. As they pressed on, Marin found a room filled with strange devices and a large, glowing orb in the center. This must be the control core, she said, the source of the attacks. Suddenly the orb pulsed, sending out a wave of energy. The humans felt a sudden surge of strength and focus. This device is controlling the predators, Leo said. If we destroy it, the attacks will stop. Marin nodded. Let's finish this. Outside, the Zarnethi watched anxiously. The humans had entered the dangerous underworld. They prayed for their safety. Inside the vault, the team prepared explosives around the orb. Marin looked at her squad. Ready? They nodded. On my mark. 3, 2, 1. The charge exploded, shaking the entire vault. The orb shattered, and the machine stopped moving. Silence followed. The team surfaced to the city, tired but victorious. The predators had disappeared. The Zarnethi people came forward, their faces filled with hope. Elder Threx approached Marin. You have saved us. We never believed Deathworlders would come to our aid. Marin smiled. We survive because we fight for others. That's what we do. The Zarnethi cheered. The bond between two very different worlds had begun. After the battle in the vault, the Zarnethi city began to feel different. The dangerous predators that once haunted the waters were gone. The glowing buildings started to shine more brightly. But most important was the change in the eyes of the Zarnethi people. They looked at the humans not as strangers, but as heroes. Commander. Marin Locke and her team rested on a large coral platform near the city center. The water around them was calm now, but the memories of the fight still lingered. Elder Threx, the Zarnethi leader, approached cautiously. His large eyes reflected both curiosity and respect. You fought with great skill. We thought you were only dangerous warriors, but you are also protectors. Marin smiled under her helmet. We fight to protect life. That's what we do on Earth. The elder's voice was soft. Your kind lives on a death world, yet you save a fragile people like us. Why? Marin looked at the small hatchling swimming nearby, safe in a gentle bubble of water created by one of the human team's devices. Because when someone calls for help, we answer, no matter where they are or who they are. Meanwhile, the Zarnethi scientists had started to examine the broken pieces of the ancient weapon the humans had destroyed. Among the pieces were strange devices far beyond Zarnethi technology. One scientist named Vera turned to Marin. These machines were designed to control life. They were meant to destroy us. We never understood how they worked until now. Marin nodded. It's a weapon built to make strong species weak, to control those who are peaceful. But you called for help, and we came. We never give up. Vera's eyes sparkled with hope. Your kind is different. Maybe together we can rebuild and protect our world. The Zarnethi children, once hidden away in fear, began to swim closer to the humans. They watched as the team cleaned their weapons and repaired their suits. Tara the scout smiled and held out her hand. One small hatchling floated over and gently touched her fingers with its fin. Look at this, Tara laughed. We're making new friends. Leo, the engineer, showed a small glowing device to a group of young Zarnethi. This will help light your homes better. Earth technology can help you rebuild faster. The Zarnethi began to see the humans not just as warriors, but as partners who brought hope and strength. But not everyone in the city was ready to trust so quickly. Some Zarnethi whispered in the shadows, afraid the humans might bring more danger. One elder, called Kree, warned, "They are from a harsh world. Their ways are strange. Can we truly rely on them? Elder Threx listened but replied firmly. We must have faith. They came when no one else would. They risked their lives for us. Marin overheard the conversation and stepped forward. I understand your fears, but if you do not try, nothing will change. We want to help you live in peace. Slowly, the city began to open its heart to the humans. As days passed, the humans and Zarnethi worked together. The humans taught the Zarnethi how to build stronger defenses and use their new technology. Jax, the weapons expert, trained Zarnethi warriors in hand-to-hand combat and how to use weapons. You don't have to fear the predators anymore. You can fight back. Sarah, the medic, helped heal those wounded in the attacks. She taught Zarnethi healers new ways to care for their people. Nico and Dax repaired communication systems, linking the city to other Zarnethi colonies. The teamwork was strong, and the bond grew deeper. One evening, as the glowing coral lit the city like stars, Marin sat with Elder Threx near the water's edge. You have saved more than our city, he said quietly. You have saved our spirit. Marin looked at the peaceful water. We didn't come here to be heroes. We came because someone needed us, because we believe no life should face fear alone. The elder smiled. Perhaps we will tell stories of the Deathworlders for generations. Marin nodded. And maybe you will teach others that strength comes from helping, not from fear. Suddenly, the quiet was broken by an alarm. Nico's voice came through the comms. Commander, I'm detecting something unusual. A new signal, different from before. Marin stood quickly. Where? Deep beneath the ocean, in an unexplored region, the team gathered. It seemed the danger was not over. The predators were controlled by something powerful, but what? We need to investigate, Marin said. Together we will find the truth. The Zarnethi looked at her with trust and hope. For the first time in a long time, they believed they were not alone. The signal was faint but clear. Deep beneath the oceans of Zarneth, in a place where even the bravest Zarnethi dared not go, something was waiting. Something dangerous. Commander Marin Locke gathered her team again aboard the HEC Resolute's small landing pods. This is where the attacks began, Marin said, looking at the map. The source of the predator's control lies somewhere in these depths. The Zarnethi watched nervously as the humans prepared. The idea of diving deeper into the dark underwater caves terrified most of them. The pressure was crushing, and the cold was like ice, but the humans smiled confidently. They had trained for hostile environments like this, Arth's mountains, deserts, and even frozen wastelands. They thrived in danger. Marin led the team into the water. Their suits glowed softly in the darkness, cutting through the thick shadows of the underwater tunnels. The air tanks hissed gently, and the hum of their breathing echoed inside their helmets. The walls of the cave were rough and covered in strange alien writing. Old machinery sat half-buried in coral. It looked like a forgotten place, long abandoned but still alive with danger. Suddenly, a mechanical screech filled the water. From the shadows, a group of predators emerged, faster and more vicious than those on the surface. Engage! Marin ordered. The team spread out quickly. Jax fired precise bursts from his rifle, hitting the creature's joints. Tara moved silently, through the water, striking with her knives. Nico used a special stun device to disable the machines for a short time. The battle was intense. The creatures were strong, but the humans were stronger and smarter. They fought as a team, covering each other, pushing deeper into the tunnels. As they moved forward, the tunnels opened into a large underground chamber. The air was dry here, and the glow of ancient machines lit the room with a cold blue light. In the center was a giant control panel covered with alien symbols. The device pulsed with energy, sending signals to the predators above. Leo examined the control panel closely. This is the heart of the problem. If we shut this down, the predators will lose their control. Marin nodded. Let's get to work, but be ready. This place is guarded. Almost immediately, mechanical drones emerged from hidden compartments in the walls. They moved quickly, firing energy blasts. The team ducked behind large metal crates. Marin fired her rifle, taking down a drone with a shot to its core. "We need to disable these defenses," Leo said, pulling out his tools. While the others held off the drones, Leo worked quickly to hack the system. His fingers flew over the alien console, trying to understand the strange technology. "It's complicated," he said, "but I can shut down some of the defenses." After a tense few minutes, the drones powered down, their lights fading. The chamber was quiet again. Marin and her team moved toward the control panel. They planted explosives around it, ready to destroy the device. Suddenly, the orb in the center pulsed with energy, sending a shockwave through the room. The humans felt a sudden rush of strength, but also a strange pressure in their heads. "This thing is trying to fight back," Marin said, steadying herself. "We have to finish the mission," Jax urged. Before the charge could go off, alarms blared. From the darkness, a massive predator appeared, larger and more dangerous than any before. Its eyes glowed red, and its metal teeth clicked like a deadly machine. The team prepared for the final fight. It was a battle of skill and willpower. Marin moved fast, dodging attacks, firing at weak spots. The others worked together to distract the beast. Tara swam around, striking at the creature's joints. Nico blasted it with heavy weapons. Sarah kept everyone steady, ready to help if anyone was hurt. Finally, after a long struggle, the beast fell. Marin looked at the timer on the explosives. "Now, get clear!" The charge exploded with a powerful blast, shaking the entire cave. The USO control panel shattered, and the pulsing energy died. Outside the tunnels, the ocean seemed to calm. The predators on the surface stopped their attacks. The threat was over. Back on the surface, the Zarnethi cheered. The humans had done what many thought impossible. They had entered the underworld and destroyed the source of the danger. Elder Threx came forward, his voice filled with gratitude. "You have saved our people and our world. We owe you a debt that cannot be repaid." Marin smiled. "We didn't come here for thanks. We came because we believe all life deserves a chance." The Zarnethi began to rebuild with new hope and courage. As the humans prepared to leave, Marin looked at the peaceful water one last time. "Earth may be a death world," she said quietly, "but it taught us something important. No matter how dark the place, hope can still shine." The HEC Resolute rose into the sky, ready to answer the next call for help. The calm after the battle did not last long. Even as the Zarnethi celebrated, Commander Marin Locke and her team knew something. More was at work beneath the surface. Back aboard the HEC Resolute, the team gathered around a holographic map of Zarneth. Nico, the tech hacker, pointed at a series of strange signals coming from deep space. "These signals are unlike anything we've seen before," Nico said. "They are coming from an old enemy of the Federation. An ancient race, thought long gone." Marin frowned. "You mean someone is controlling the predators? Using them as weapons?" Jax nodded. "This isn't just a wild attack. It's a war tactic." The team understood the danger. The ancient race had created the biomechanical predators to weaken peaceful worlds. The goal was clear: destroy allies before they could unite. Meanwhile, on Zarneth, the Zarnethi Council gathered again. Elder Threx spoke quietly with his advisors. "We're lucky to survive," Threx said. "But if this ancient enemy returns, we must be ready." Vera, the scientist, looked thoughtful. "The humans are different. They adapt quickly. They survive when others would fall." Elder Threx nodded. "Perhaps they are the key to our future." Marin knew the fight was not over. She ordered her team to prepare for the next phase of the mission, find out who was behind the attacks and stop them for good. The HEC Resolute returned to orbit, and the landing pods went down again, this time heading toward a distant rocky moon orbiting Zarneth. Intelligence suggested that the enemy base was hidden beneath its surface. As they approached the moon, the team felt the tension rise. This was uncharted territory, harsh and unforgiving. The moon's surface was covered with jagged rocks and deep craters. The air was thin and cold. Deathworlders love places like this, Jax joked, trying to lighten the mood. Marin smiled. We thrive where others fail. Let's get this done. The team landed and stepped onto the rocky ground. Their boots kicked up dust as they moved toward a hidden entrance to an underground facility. Leo scanned the area. No signs of life on the surface. But the base is active below. Inside the base, the air was thick and dark. Strange machines hummed, and red lights flashed. The walls were covered with symbols matching those from the vault on Zarneth. This is where they control the predators, Tara said quietly. The team moved carefully through the tunnels. Suddenly alarms blared. The base came alive with defense drones and robotic soldiers. Ambush! Marin shouted. The fight was fierce. The humans used all their training to survive. Jax fired his rifle with deadly accuracy. Nico hacked doors and disabled traps. Tara's agility saved her team from deadly blows. Despite the enemy's strength, the humans pushed forward. At the heart of the base, they found a massive control room. A glowing console sat in the center, pulsating with dark energy. Marin approached cautiously. This is it, the source of control. Leo started to analyze the console. It's using advanced AI to command the predators remotely. If we can shut this down, the threat ends. Suddenly a voice echoed through the room. It was cold and robotic. You are trespassers. Leave or be destroyed. Marin raised her weapon. We're here to end your plans. The AI unleashed security measures. Walls shifted and new machines appeared. The team fought harder than ever. Sarah tended to wounds quickly, keeping spirits high. Dax worked furiously on the console, trying to hack it. Almost there, Dax said. Just a few more seconds. With a final blast from Jax's cannon, the last machines fell. Dax completed the hack, and the console's glow faded. The base went silent. The control over the predators was broken. Outside, the Zarnethi oceans began to calm further. The machines no longer moved. Peace was returning. Back on the surface, Elder Threx greeted the humans. You have not only saved us but the entire region. Your courage is beyond words. Marin looked at the Elder. We fight for all who call for help. That is the way of Deathworlders. Threx smiled. Then perhaps, together, we can build a stronger future. As the HEC Resolute prepared to leave, Marin took one last look at Zarneth. This fight showed me something, she said to her team. No matter how dangerous the world, humans find a way. We are not just survivors. We are protectors. Jax nodded. Deathworlders answer the call. Every time. The stars stretched before them, and the ship jumped to light speed, ready for the next call for help. The victory felt real, but Commander Marin Locke knew better than anyone that peace was never final. The ancient enemy's control over the predators was broken, but their plans had run deep. There was one last step before the threat could be truly ended. Back on the moon base, after disabling the control room, the team discovered hidden files inside the AI's memory. These files showed the location of a secret weapon, an ancient device buried deep beneath the surface of Zarneth itself, a weapon designed to destroy entire worlds. This is bigger than we thought, Leo said, eyes scanning the data. If this weapon activates, Zarneth and many other worlds could be destroyed. Marin's jaw tightened. We have to stop it now. The HEC Resolute dropped the team back onto Zarneth's ocean surface. They moved quickly toward the coordinates given by the AI. The water was calm, but a strange energy filled the air. The sea creatures had grown silent, as if sensing the danger beneath. The team descended into a deep trench, deeper than any had gone before. The pressure grew intense, but their suits held steady. At the trench's bottom, an enormous structure lay, half buried in coral and rock. It was a weapon unlike any they had seen. Dark metal plates curved in sharp angles, covered with strange glowing lines. This is it, Marin said. The final threat. As they approached, the weapon suddenly activated. Lights flashed, and an energy field surrounded the structure. The humans were trapped. The AI voice echoed through the trench. You cannot stop the inevitable. Prepare for destruction. Marin looked at her team. We don't give up. We fight. The team split up. Leo and Nico worked to hack into the weapon systems while Marin, Jax, Tara, and Dax prepared to defend them. Predators, still controlled by the weapon, emerged from the shadows. The battle was fierce. The water was filled with flashes of light and the sound of weapons firing. Jax shouted, "Keep them off the hackers." Tara moved silently, striking down enemies before they could attack. Dax used his tech skills to disable enemy machines. Meanwhile, Leo's fingers flew over the controls. "I'm inside the system, but it's fighting back hard." Nico worked beside him. "We need to overload the core, it's the only way." Marin fought off a predator, then called out, "You're almost there, hurry!" With a final surge, Leo and Nico sent a massive electrical pulse through the weapon. Sparks flew and the energy field flickered. The weapon shuddered and began to collapse. The predators lost control and fled into the darkness. Marin signaled the team. "Time to go." They swam fast, escaping as the weapon exploded behind them. The blast sent shockwaves through the trench. When they surfaced, the Zarnethi cheered louder than ever. Their world was safe at last. Elder Threx came forward, tears in his eyes. "You have saved not just our lives, but our future." Marin smiled, tiredly. "We did this together. The strength of many can overcome even the darkest threats." As the humans prepared to leave, Marin looked at the Zarnethi people. "You called for help and we answered. Remember, no matter how hard the fight, hope is never lost." The Zarnethi nodded. They had learned that strength was not just in power, but in courage and friendship. The HEC Resolute rose above the water. Marin and her team settled into the ship, ready to face whatever new challenge awaited them in the stars. The galaxy was wide, full of dangers and cries for help. But with Deathworlders like these, no call would ever go unanswered. The sun set over the rebuilt city of Zarneth, painting the sky in soft shades of blue and pink. The water shimmered gently around the coral towers, now stronger and brighter than before. Life was returning to the once-stricken world. Commander Marin Locke stood at the edge of the city, watching the waves lap quietly against the shore. Around her, the Zarnethi people bustled with renewed energy and hope. Children played in the shallow waters, laughter mixing with the soft hum of the ocean. Elder Threx approached, his eyes full of gratitude. "Your people saved us when no one else would. You gave us a second chance." Marin smiled gently. "It was your call for help that brought us here. That's what matters. When someone reaches out, we listen. We come." Inside the Great Hall, the Zarnethi leaders gathered. They had decided to rename their capital city in honor of the humans' courage. From this day forward, it would be called Lockahaven. Vera, the scientist, presented new plans to use the technology the humans had brought to improve their defenses and rebuild their homes. The Zarnethi were no longer just survivors. They were becoming guardians of their world. On the HEC Resolute, the human team prepared to leave orbit. Marin gathered her squad for a final briefing. "We answered a call from a distant world," she said. "We faced dangers none of us imagined, but we stood together and we made a difference." Jax nodded. "Deathworlders don't back down. We fight for those who can't." Sarah smiled. "And we heal. That's what keeps us strong." Leo checked the ship's controls. "Our job here is done, but the galaxy is full of others who need help." Marin looked out the window, stars twinkling in the distance. "Then we keep listening. We keep answering." Before they left, the Zarnethi sent a message into deep space. The distress call that had once been a cry of fear was now a message of hope. A holographic image of Elder Threx appeared, speaking in the universal language. "To all who hear this, remember, when Deathworlders answer your call, you are never alone. You are not weak. You are already winning." As the HEC Resolute jumped into light speed, the human team felt a deep sense of pride. They had proven once again why Earth's Deathworlders were feared and respected. Marin thought of her home, of the harsh deserts, dense forests, and stormy seas. Earth was tough, but it taught its people to be stronger, braver, and kinder. No matter how dark the universe might seem, there was always a light shining, a light born from courage, friendship, and hope. And so, the humans sailed through the stars, ready to answer the next call. For as long as there were worlds in need, Deathworlders would be there, fierce, fearless, and full of heart, because that was their way.